everyone, this is Grumpy Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of Tekkit with Grumpy. I'm performing some experiments here with the power system, and originally when I set the system up and originally turned it all on, each generator was only producing 8 EU per tick. And according to the wiki, this should be producing 10 energy per tick, and Aaron did some experiments and he always gets 10 EU per tick, but yet I was only getting 8 EU per tick for engine. Now if you saw the last video, they were actually producing 10 energy per tick, but what I did, I tore down all the MFSUs and put them back up, because what I was trying to do is drain all the wooden planks out of the generators. And when I did that, I tore them all down and replaced them. It started the generators to going because they have to fill all these 4 up. But here's something interesting I noted. They were back to producing 8 energy per tick. So let me show you this. If I go down the one on the very end, you should see 8 EU per tick. Now, so there it is. It's a glitch or bug, I don't know, but there's actually one down here that's only producing 7 EU per tick. So right now the 2 rows in the middle are actually disabled, so if I have 32 of them going, that should be 320 EU per tick. So if I go down here and take a measurement, in theory it should be 320, but yet I will get 255, which is what I should get if they're all producing 8 EU per tick. For some reason the one on the very end only produces 7. Now I'm guessing that one is producing 7, it may be too far away and I'm getting a power loss, but it's interesting to note how it's calculated. It would seem to me like I should still get 8 EU down here, and then way down here somewhere that one packet should get a little smaller, but apparently that's not how it works. But anyway, I just thought I would show this to you. If anybody has an idea what causes this, let me know, but hopefully I'll get these things back up to 10 EU per tick. But right now I'm going to drain them all out, try charcoal and see how that works. Aaron and I discussed this. Basically what it is charcoal costs 32 EMC, a plank costs 8. The charcoal will cook 8 items, 4 planks will cook 6 items. So by switching over to charcoal, I can just EMC charcoal. I should get a 33% increase in EMC, more bang for a buck from the EMC I'm getting. But anyway, I'm going to stop recording and do some more experiments and let you see the results. Okay, here's another interesting thing I've noticed. If we look here at the filters, I took everything out of there. That's not really an inventory, it's just a way to program the filter. But anyway, I took everything out anyway. And also the energy condenser is empty. Same thing over here. If you notice I have power turned off, these 2 on the sides, they're still completely full of planks, and they've stayed full for a long time, even after the energy condenser is emptied out. So I was curious what caused that, but basically there's a bunch of stuff being stored in Never Never Land. Let me show you. As soon as I put this pop in place, you're going to see a whole bunch of wooden planks come out of the filters. There we go. So apparently when stuff goes back, it doesn't go back in the chest. It looks like it's stored in the filter, but so pretty much it's lost in a way because you've got no way to recover it. Alright, well I guess you could hook something up, but right now this filter, it's not even getting pulses right now. I have the timer turned off, so it's kind of odd. I'm not sure how this works, if this is a glitch or what, but you can see blocks leaving there. So I'm guessing these packets just kind of roam around in the system. Now here you can see them coming back because there's no valid destination, and here you can see them leaving again. That's just interesting to note that the filters are completely off, yet there's still stuff going in and out of them. So anyway, I'm going to stop recording and I'll come back when I got something else to show you. Okay, got some more experiment results here. Accidental, but if you remember, I said my power dropped off to 8 EU. It's actually dropped off a lot more. But let me show you why I added this thing right here. It's called an EU splitter. They look pretty handy, but I got to figure out how to use them properly. But let me show you what it looks like. It's called an EU splitter cable, and basically what it does, it allows you to break connection on a wire. So that's basically turning the power off and on. So instead of removing a cable to turn power off, you can just put a switch somewhere like that. When it gets a redstone signal, it's you can see it turns the power off. Put it that way, it turns it back on. Now, one interesting to note, as I watched the video on this, I thought it was pretty cool. This is how they did it, but I don't like the redstone wire, just don't like the looks of it. So I tried using red alloy wire, and this thing will not interface to anything but redstone. So if you decide to use this, here it is. It's called an EU splitter cable. You just put it in line with your cable, and it will break connection so you can turn your power off and on. That's actually pretty handy because eventually I'll probably have proximity sensors in the base, and these generators are extremely noisy. I can come all the way to over here and I can still hear the generators. So kind of hard to have a secret base when you can hear the base from 30 or 40 blocks away. So I'm going to put some proximity sensors, and whenever they sense a player, it will automatically kill the generators. Well, it won't kill them instantly. I don't know if there's a way to kill them instantly, but if I put a switch here, it kills demand for electricity, and these things will just run for a few seconds after that. So hopefully that will be enough. But anyway, let me show you the experiment results I saw. Let me turn the power on. We'll take an EU reading, and I forgot what the power was last time, but anyway, the power has dropped off dramatically. I'm only producing 300 EU per tick now. Before I added that thing, it should be around 520. But let me go ahead and remove this, and I'll show you. Let me show you reading one more time. 300, well, 299. Let's just say 300 EU per tick. So let's remove this thing. Oh, I forgot the glass wire. I had one in my inventory, I put it up. I forgot I needed it. Well, I didn't know I needed it, I think. But anyway, here we go. I need to get more supplies in the secret base. Okay. Now, just by removing that thing, let's take a reading. We're up to 511 EU per tick, and that's my original reading. Now, the video I watched on the EU splitter said it caused a 0.5 power loss per tick, and so apparently the way this power loss works, I just assumed it was like real electricity. So I assumed a packet of energy would leave down here. It should be 10, and I think this thing has a range of like 32. I think, I'm not sure, but anyway. I'm talking about the glass fiber cable. In other words, I think you got your first loss at 32, but I thought the way it worked, so you had 10 here, you travel down, the packet of 10 energy goes down until it gets to 32, then it'll drop off to 9. But apparently that's not the way it works. If you have any loss, like right here, it's weird ghetto math or hillbilly math, but basically if I put something here, it causes a 0.5 power loss. It throws it back into the system to where anyway I get a massive power loss. So let me come back down here. Oh, I have the power off. Let me go turn the power back on. Oh, wait a minute, it is on. Oh, okay. I thought it was off because I don't hear the generators. I guess this is buggy. Okay. Let me take a reading down here. I'll click on this generator. It's producing 7 EU per tick. That's the one that shows the power loss. This one right here, 8 EU per tick. So this is the only one that has a 7. Everything else has an 8. But let me put that other thing back in line and show it to you. Okay, now we'll go down here, take a reading at the very end. For EU per tick. So I would assume that if you click this thing directly, it should tell you how much power this thing's producing. It doesn't. Let me just click the second one, see what it says. For EU per tick. Come down here. For EU per tick. 8 EU per tick. So this is kind of glitchy. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shorten up this wire as much as possible. Now you see I have it going to the ceiling. I just wanted to be able to walk through here, and I wanted to get all this out of the way. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to dig up the floor just like this, and I'm going to have this wire actually right where I'm digging out this trench. That's where the wire is going to be, and I'll just use stone covers to hide it. And let's see, it'll drop down right here, right here, right here, and right here. Now I'm also going to move the MFSUs, or the wire is going to come up right here in the middle, and that should drastically reduce the length of everything, because instead of like the very back corner, see where it comes down here, it's got to go up, cross all the way, then down to here, and finally to this thing here. I may not be able to use one of these here. I'm guessing the way this works is when you place it down, it just adds a 0.5 power loss, and it goes backwards through the system, calculates it. So I'm thinking maybe if I put it, no idea, maybe if I put it on the output, I don't know, I'll just have to figure it out. It looks like these may not just work good with the generators. If I had like an HV solar array and it was pretty close to MFSU, I think I could put this thing down and I wouldn't lose much. I might lose 1 or 2 EU, so instead of having 512, I might have 510. That's acceptable, but that one little thing right there is causing me to lose like 60% of my power, so that's not good. But anyway, I'll stop recording and move everything around, jumble it around. We'll see how it works then. Okay, I have moved the MFSUs. As you can see, it's a lot less excess wire. I did leave a space right here because I may end up trying that switch again. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Might do it here in a second. But anyway, let me show you what I'm getting now. Exactly 512 EU per tick. All 64 generators right now are putting out 8 EU. Even this one down here. And so I don't know how I get 640. Right now I'm getting 512. You saw it on a previous video, I was getting 640 according to the wiki and Aaron's experiments. I should be getting 10, and I actually even saw it, but right now there's no power loss and I'm getting 8 EU per tick. So my only other guess is maybe there has to be a server reboot. But anyway, that's about as good as I'm going to be able to do for now. I'll just cover this up with covers. The next thing I need to do is just see how these generators are holding up. Right now they're all full, but let's check these chests out. Now if you notice it's building up, the filters won't suck it out until they get 16 in there, because these things have 16 charcoal, so they're programmed basically when there's 16 in there, or I'm sorry, when there's 16 in here, they will suck it out, and I would show that to you, but it's going to take it a minute. It takes this thing a lot longer to generate charcoal than it does the other stuff, but most of them looks like they're completely full. So at the very minimum, even if this thing still can't keep up with the power demand, it's still going to work better because charcoal has a higher EMC value and more energy, potential energy. Basically turn these things into bigger batteries. So, but it's going to take much longer for them to fill up, 4 times longer actually, because these things take 4 times as much EMC. And there you can see a bunch leaving there. So maybe all of these are filled up. I have no idea. But one thing I noticed is you do have to definitely have to put the charcoal in the filters, because if you don't, what happens is the cobblestone enters this chest and sometimes it'll pull out the cobblestone. So you definitely need to program these to put charcoal in there. And an easy way to check if that happens, you just look at all the generators. If one of them's not lit, that happened a few of them before I figured out you got to put the stuff in the filters. If it wasn't lit, you go right click on it and you would see like a stack of stone in there. So make sure if you do this, make sure you put some charcoal in those filters. I don't know if there's an optimal packet size. I'm using 16 charcoal. My logic behind that is that one of these packets are going to leave and they'll go down the line, and so there's 16 of them. So hopefully if I put 16 in a packet, it'll just go down the line and put one charcoal inside of each one or something like that. But that's the plan anyway. But anyway, I'll stop recording, do some more experiments, or see what happens. Oh yes, I did forget to do this experiment. I put this thing back in line, and you can see my power reading now. I'm losing 100 EU just by putting this thing on. I still think they have a good use, but I think it's more like for nuclear reactors, well, not nuclear reactors. These things will actually only handle packets of 512. So it worked great with HV arrays, like if there's a short span, maybe like if back at my old house, or the original house, the MFSUs are like right up against HV arrays. I think it'd work great there, but it's pretty worthless for this application. Okay, one more thing to note. I forgot that covers cannot occupy the same space as industrial craft glass fiber cable or anything from industrial craft. The covers are part of the Red Power 2 mod, and I think you can only put the covers at the same space as the Red Power 2 stuff. So here's something I was going to show you. I've always wondered what these were for, and I discovered the answer. That's these things right here. They're called hollow stone covers. This is what they're for. Now this jacketed cable, it is part of Red Power 2, so this is what I can do with it. There you go. You can use it to fill up holes in your pipe, so the pipe just looks like it goes through the wall with no gap around it. But I can only use it in places where I have actual Red Power 2 stuff, just like that. So I can cover those up. It's kind of cool. So I actually put a cover here. I can go through here, put these things like wherever there's a hole. It's pretty cool. I guess it makes your stuff look a little bit better. Not drastically better, but it is better. So anyway, I'll come back in a little while. So here's my next experiment. You can actually make these MFSUs emit a redstone pulse, and so what I did is put a piece of red alloy wire on top of all of them. They're actually lit right now, and I have it set up to where they emit when these things are partially full. Now right now this one right here has 250,000 EU in it, and I want to see what level the thing goes off at. I'm hoping it's like 50% or something, or it might just mean it's not full. I'm hoping it's 50%, because what happens if it's 50%? I'll build a logic circuit, and when these things drop below 50%, the generators will turn on. When it gets above 50%, the generators will turn off. I don't know. I'm going to figure out some way to where these things aren't pumping out goods so much. I don't want all that stuff just bouncing around the system. You can see it right there. All these things are full, but there's like hundreds of pieces of charcoal just going back and forth in the system right now. And I don't know, that may cause a little server lag, but I'm going to see if I can't figure something out. I'll let you know the results of this experiment. It's pretty interesting, I think. You can make these things, let's see what we can do here. You can make it emit if empty. You can make do not output energy, so that basically turns it off and lets it store energy. Click again, do not output energy unless full. That one seems kind of odd, but nothing is default. In other words, it does never emit redstone ever. And emit if full, and emit if partially full. So those are your different things you can do. Right now they're all emitting. So this would be cool. Also too, you could put like a red lamp on top of all of them, and you could like have it emitted if empty, so it'd give you kind of a warning light. So they put a red lamp on top of each of them. If you see a lamp on, it means that MFSU is empty. Not sure how useful that would be, but it might be kind of cool. But anyway, I'll get back to you when I got more results. Okay, we're back. Let's see what the results are. You can see this red LED wire is off now. I went ahead and broke this connection here so this one would charge up quicker. It did not go off until this thing hit 100% full. So basically there was two states: emit when full, emit when partially full. It's basically the same thing. I mean, either thing's got 10 million EU or it doesn't. If it didn't change state till it's full, so the partially full one's kind of worthless. You could just use like a NOT gate to invert the signal. But anyway, I was hoping what would happen was partially full was like when it was 50% or 75%. I mean, that would give you a way to like turn this off and on. But basically what's going to happen, if the signal, like say for example, if it's not completely full, it's going to emit obviously. But let's say this thing's got 10 million EU and you do anything in the house, it's going to drop immediately below 10 million EU. This machine would turn on and you're going to waste like 64 pieces of charcoal. So that's not going to work. So I think the next step is, oh, by the way, this thing can't keep up still. This thing actually is on right now. It's producing cobblestone. It's just you won't see anything coming out now until these chests get 16 in them. So you can see one just left there. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. But basically, when you get a stack of 15, it gets sucked out, and you can see it leaving. But it can't keep up. So if we come down here, these are full. But if we come all the way down here, I only got like 29 there. I can say this much: it took it a lot longer to drain, to drain with the charcoal than it did the planks. So definitely worth doing the charcoal over the planks. But I'm gonna have to build more cobblestone generators, or probably just gonna break down and build a rubber tree farm with the equivalent exchange. I won't use it for anything but powering this. This whole elaborate thing is just to get out of having an HV array in the corner. So I could put one HV array. Actually we only got 4 of them at the house. We only need 2 there actually right now. Lady Star is going to take one. I could take the other, but I don't want to do that. This whole big elaborate contraption is taking me 2 or 3 days. It's just to get out of putting an HV array right here. So I think the next step is to go to the rubber tree farm. It's going to generate a massive amount of EMC. Basically, you can get a tree from it like in theory, probably every half a second, but I'll probably turn it down to like 1 second, experiment with the time. I don't want excess EMC. I don't want to use it to generate too much EMC. I just want enough EMC to make sure these things stay powered all the time. So I'm going to go to the rubber tree farm next, or I could just build another level of cobblestone generators, but honestly I'm not sure how many more I need. But I can build the rubber tree farm and be done with it, and it may actually cause less lag too, because if you look at all these blocks traveling through all these, you figure each block's got to run a little bit of code, and all these blocks traveling down the pipe, that takes code. All this stuff, as many as there are, it might be a lot less server lag if I just put one and be done with it. One rubber tree plant. Pretty cool video. I'll just have to find it again, but basically use equivalent exchange, dark matter axes, assemblers, and it instantly plants a tree. It fertilizes it, harvests it, and it's all self-sufficient. You don't have to, or self-contained. You don't have to add anything to the system. It generates its own bone meal to plant the trees and everything. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Saw a few cool experiments. We'll see where we go from there. And by the way, there is a sensor mod you can do too that'll allow you to like read the energy from this thing, but that's going to take computer craft and all that, and I'm definitely going to do that. But for right now, I want to learn more about this other stuff. I want to get this thing up and going first. But anyway, this is Grumpy Gamer. We're going to wrap up this episode. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.